Once you have a good number of regular customers, you'll eventually start to get catering requests for things like birthday parties, weddings, and other private events.
Will you cater our wedding?
Us? Cater your wedding?
Don't take this the wrong way, but don't you want your wedding to be nice?
Catering can be a very lucrative source of supplemental income, and in our experience, they're much less work than a normal service. But you need to make sure that you can handle the extra work before you commit to anything. Don't be greedy and say yes to everyone.
Don't get greedy.
We generally do not take on any catering requests if it means we have to cancel one of our normal service days. If you're okay missing out on your normal service, or the catering won't interfere with it, you'll have to figure out food and employees. If the catering will take place before or after your normal service, will you be able to prep enough food for both? Is there enough storage space on your truck for both? Will it require you to go back to your commissary in between? Remember that people who want catering services have a specific menu in mind. Sometimes they may want a modified version of what's on your menu. For example, instead of your regular burgers, they may want mini sliders. This may require you to purchase different serving containers that you normally would never use. These will all add extra costs and time to your inventory shopping. Do you have enough employees who can work? Will it force any of them to go into
overtime?
Is the extra money worth it even if you have to pay overtime? If the event lasts for a while, you may have to buy food for your employees. If it ends past midnight or whenever public transport in your area shuts down or runs very slowly, you may have to pay for their Uber or cab fare home. Keep all of these costs in mind. Unless you figure out these costs, you may be taking on catering events that will barely yield a profit.
How much are we talking about? Literally.
If you're unsure or uncomfortable coming up with a figure by yourself, you may want to ask a few food trucks you're friendly with and what they might charge for a similar event. It'll at least give you a range to work with. In any event, once you calculate a final price, you should request a 50% deposit at least a few weeks before the event and expect the other half at the event when you finish. Aside from catering, you may also get invited to sell at one-time events like concerts, outdoor markets, food truck festivals, and conventions. There are so many requirements and rules for each type of event, so I'll just go over some of the things you should know and to look out for. Most of these events are not free. They'll either charge you a flat fee for the spot, keep a percentage of your sales, or both. If it's a flat fee, it may be between $400 and $800 for the day, depending on how popular the event is. If it's a percentage, 30% of your sales is pretty standard. Also, the locations will probably be pretty far from where you normally do service, and they typically last all day. So your labor costs will be higher than normal. If they tell you the event lasts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., you should expect to arrive at around 8 a.m. and get out at close to 10 p.m. Then you have to go back to your commissary, clean, refill, and you'll probably leave at around 1 a.m. or later, depending on the traffic from the event. But it's not all bad news. You can usually charge more than normal at these events. Every truck does it. At Coachella in 2019, for example, a slice of pizza was $8, a burger was $14, a bottle of Heineken, $11. You get the idea. It's also a good way for you to promote your food truck because people from all over the country or all around the world will get a chance to try you out. In my opinion, if you're doing a good amount of business with your normal schedule, I would stay away from these events. One of the biggest rookie mistakes that a lot of newer food truck owners make is they hear about these big events, they see how much other trucks charge for their food, and they get caught up in all the money that they can make.
I'll give you $10 for that thing.
Yeah, me too. Wow. Huh. If I sell 2 sandwiches for $10 each, that equals... money.
What they fail to realize is that unlike the normal parking spots during the week, these events are a collection of only the most popular food trucks in the area. Are you confident that you can outsell all of them? Another thing to consider is if the event is outside of the city, you'll either have to drive all of your employees there in the morning and drive them back, or you'll have to arrange their transportation. Either way, all of your employees will definitely be working overtime, and you'll probably be working close to 16 hours that day. Once you take into account all the costs and pains associated with participating in one of these events, you may find that you'll have very little to show for it at the end of the day. The only events you might want to consider are the really big ones, like Coachella, Comic-Con, Ultra Music Festival, and any other national or international ones. One thing to note is that for both catering and one-time events, if there's a big corporate sponsor, they may ask that you rewrap your entire truck. So your truck may transform into the A&E food truck or the Shell food truck for a few days or a few weeks. Although you're expected to take care of the rewrap process, they should add the cost to your pay. They should also pay for you to rewrap it again back to your original truck design once the event is over.